Hi friends, Smo here. My video with you today is one that I'm probably a little bit more nervous about doing because it's the day of the week and the time of the year that I'm doing it that has me feeling a little nervous. Because anytime you want to talk about, or you are talking about, a sensitive topic like alcohol use and abuse, and it's backing up or aligning right in with holidays, it is never sexy, it is never cool, and it's never fun. And yet, my experience has been that is when it's the most important that it needs to be talked about or and shared. And so bear with me if I stumble through my video with you today. I'm going to continue the theme that I've been doing all month long, April Alcohol Awareness Month, and I've got this trend of doing things in threes. My first video was about sharing with you my experience in observing someone else's preoccupation with alcohol. My second video was about sharing with you three experiences of me being preoccupied with someone else's alcohol. And today I'm going to share with you three definitions of problematic alcohol use. And they are escalating. They are not directly aligned, but they can be. And they are very much in my personal experience, as well as being in and around the rooms of alcohol recovery. I've heard numerous people that have shared similar experiences where the holidays can be the most challenging and scary. So let's create some awareness about that and expand our collective awareness, because that's what my mission is about, is helping expand our collective awareness about the seriousness of something that is part of our everyday culture. It's part of our social culture. It's part of many of our shared religious cultures, but it's the excessive use and abuse that creates the problems. Binge drinking. The American Psychological Association describes binge drinking as, and he puts them as mass quantities of alcohol consumed in a short period of time, period. Well, if you need something a little more specific, use this as a benchmark. Consider 2 hours, and if you're a man, you're throwing back 5 or more drinks in that 2-hour period. And if you're a woman, you're tossing back between four and more. That's considered a binge drinking episode. The next elevation of alcohol use is alcohol abuse. And this is when an individual's drinking in the moment may not be causing problems, but it has residual effects. And it prohibits the individual's ability to fulfill responsibilities and obligations. For example, hangover, and you're too sick after all the consumption of the entire night before to meet or fulfill your obligations of the next day. Now, I've got a few decades under my belt now, and I'm very clear that I drink alcohol, and I've also been in these categories. I've been some time in doing some college drinking, and I've done my 20s at the bar and happy hours and contests and things like that. But when it starts affecting my ability to do my job, to serve my family, and to meet obligations or commitments and responsibilities outside that affect other people, my problem is growing. I've been on the receiving end of that. I was married to a man who got fired from a position because he showed up drunk to a client's meeting. Not good. The third category is the alcohol dependence and alcoholism. And this one is when the body and the individual are chemically reliant and chemically dependent on the alcohol for them to function. This is the tipping point into the diseases and the dependency that will ultimately destroy lives. The previous two, without a doubt, create chaos, create confusion, create problems, arguments, fights, sidetracks, derailings of situations. The next one is the one. This next level is the danger, is the biggest danger of them all, and it's the one that kills people. It's the one that destroys families. It destroys relationships. It destroys functioning of the body itself for the individual that's drinking it. And, I didn't realize how dependent my alcoholic loved ones were until I was strolling through a drugstore one day. And I randomly walked down the mouthwash aisle. And subconsciously, something just pulled me to the shelf to grab a bottle of mouthwash and turn it over and read the label. And the label said the alcohol content in the mouthwash was 26%. That's quite high. And it's actually higher than some liqueurs and spirits. And the hair on my arm stood up. I got goosebumps going down my spine, because a few months earlier, after my late husband had passed and I was clearing out his personal effects in a bathroom, I came across this odd placed bottle of mouthwash, and it looked exactly the same. And it was not the mouthwash we had previously been used to using and familiar to using, because before we usually used alcohol-free. His dependence escalated in such a way, and he knew that I was aware of how serious his drinking was, that while he tried not drinking, he couldn't function without it, and he needed to get it another way. So he started consuming and drinking mouthwash. He's not alone in this. There are many other stories that I personally have heard from people that have been in recovery or who else have lost loved ones. There are a lot of stories where this is a factor. But it's important that we raise our awareness. And, it's not sexy, cool, or fun to be talking about a serious subject like that when so many of us are looking forward to Easter brunch and maybe a mimosa or a Bloody Mary and some Easter egg hunting and, time with family. But you know what? As the NCADD notes, in 2015, more than half of the U.S. population has an alcoholic or a problem with alcohol use and abuse in a relative. So guess what? This is real stuff. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. We don't need to be preoccupied with it that it infringes our own ability to function in our lives like I've done in the past. But you can pay attention. Notice, just be aware, and lovingly suggest to your loved one that there might be a problem at hand. And in the meantime, know that if you're uncomfortable with someone else's use and abuse, there is support and help for you too. And Sunday night is going to be Easter, and I know where I'm going to be on Sunday evening, and that's in my regular Sunday night recovery meeting. And I won't be there necessarily for my own recovery from the family disease of alcoholism. I'm going to be there to welcome the person who walks in the room for the first time, whose family is falling apart, is being destroyed because of someone else's use and abuse of alcohol. Something to think about. Peace. I send you love, and I send you happy, warm and loving holidays this weekend. Take care. Until next time. Bye.